What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be previewing round 5. It's gather round at the Adelaide Oval. It's Port Adelaide versus the Western Bulldogs, and whilst it's been a massive weekend of footy that is coming up this weekend, we're going to particularly focus on what we know, Port Adelaide, and seeing how they're going to go against the Western Bulldogs in a crucial game of footy. It is gather round. We're going to celebrate what is going to be a massive festival of football in South Australia, and it's going to be absolutely terrific. There's going to be plenty of content to come. But firstly, I would love to thank you so much for 5,000 subscribers. It's been one hell of a journey, and it's going to continue to keep going, and I'm very, very thankful for everyone's support, so thank you so much. And I look forward to many more milestones to come, and hopefully a better performance on the field as well this week, with, fingers crossed, another win against the Dogs to celebrate what has been a massive journey to get to 5k. So thank you so much, and without further ado, let's preview round 5, Port Adelaide versus the Western Bulldogs. Well, selection's been fun, hasn't it? The big Tom Jonas is out, being managed. That's just a poor excuse for dropped. And as your captain, yeah, look, it's not a good look, is it? And Ollie Wines will captain this weekend, and it's going to be a fascinating story to come out of what's been a pretty interesting start to the year for Tom Jonas. Obviously, he hasn't been in great form, and for him to be dropped, along with Jackson Mead, who I thought was harshly dropped, which means Ryan Burton does come back from his suspension and fits right in. I think that's the right thing to do. And in what conditions are going to be quite slippery, and I'll get to that in a second. It definitely bodes toward a smaller figure down there, and Burton's got a quicker pace and a better matchup style against a smaller tool. So his run and carry will be very, very prolific when it comes to the type of game that's going to be played. Overall, though, Jackson Mead, as I said, didn't do much wrong last weekend, and I'm very, very, very intrigued to see why we've dropped him after a performance of one game. Didn't even get a go in the midfield. And I think as well, Darcy Byrne-Jones is probably going to come back and play, which is a little bit disappointing. That's not the message you're sending across when you drop a leader and then he becomes Medi-sub and then he plays. Like, that's just, there's nothing there to suggest that you're in a position to say, right, you've done what you've needed to do, come back in the side and perform. No, that's just not good enough, and I feel sorry for the players that are really developing and trying to get a spot, because blokes like Darcy Byrne-Jones should be punished a little bit more. And it's sad. Like, I think for that to happen, I think a lot of fans would be infuriated with that decision making. So not a great look when it comes to trying to make a statement with your leadership and a performance on the field. He was good when he came on, Darcy Byrne-Jones, but you're going to look good anyway when you're freshly ready to go for a quarter, when you've had players on the field already who've played for 3.5 quarters. So questionable selection in my opinion, but overall good to see Birdo back, and overall I think it's going to be a good even spread across the field when it comes to how we structure up. I think it's a lot better looking than what it has been for the whole first 4 rounds. When it comes to the Western Bulldogs, I think one of the key things here is the contested ball, and we saw last week that we were plus 11 in contested ball, which was a must for us if we were going to win games of footy. Our pressure was really good. The only thing that lacked was our skill. And when it comes to it this weekend, if the weather is going to be how it's predicted to be, skill's not going to play a massive part. We're going to have to be very tempo-wise. We're very patient with our ball movement and just get the ball and move it in a direction that's going to be an advantage to us. And, when we have the footy, play that tempo style and try not to be cute with it, but then flip the switch and just pump it long and try and get the best use out of it possible. Forward 50 entries, stoppages, just gaining momentum. The Dogs were very good in the wet last week against the Tigers. And I feel like their contested game, with the likes of Tom Liberatore, the outside run of Bailey Smith, the Bont, obviously, I think they have a good crop of players, and they have that midfield that's going to really get a lot of possessions and make a good key decision-making processes when it comes to going forward. So we have to be on our eyeball with that. We saw last year's game where we bet them on a Friday night and it was really good. We saw the prelim. We saw the game at Marvel, the game before that, which was tight, and we won that. So there's proof in the pudding to suggest that when we play our contested game right, it's definitely going to be something that will get us a lot closer to winning a game of football. Obviously, execution's another thing, and playing it up forward. And I think our smalls are going to come in very much, handy play. I think you look to have that moment where you're like, right, I know Rosie's a very good midfielder, but maybe in the wet, you would like some class up forward. Butters is the same. You look at Jackson Mead and you're like, well, why are you playing sub? You should be playing in the midfield. Get up to your biggie bodies around there. It's a big game for Ollie Wines this week, isn't it? Ollie Wines versus Tom Liberatore, the two big contested beasts in there. You're going to want to win games of footy with tackles and pressure and getting the ball out quickly and just moving the ball in the wet. That's the type of game Ollie's going to play. I want to see ferocious Ollie. I want to see the big ball. I want to see him crashing into the contest. Don't be scared. Play a captain's game. You're now captain because Tom Jonas is out. Play the game. Ollie Wines, look, fine Wines. Play that game, Ollie, and I think we'll go a long way to doing that. It's going to be it's a sellout crowd. It's a massive game. The Dogs are coming over. This is our territory, and they're very up and down, the Dogs. They've lost games they probably thought they were going to win. They won last week against a Tigers outfit that is a little bit unknown. They've got the key forward in Jamari Ugle-Hagan and also Flying Norton. It's a component of their game that works really well, and our defence are going to be really on. And we showed last week that we can shut down the big key forwards. We shut down Buddy, we shut down Logan McDonald, and Marty hardly saw it last week. So we're capable, and if it becomes an aerial game, then we are more than capable to do so. It's a big game for the midfielders as well, but the wingmen, Bergman and Dersman were very good last week. I think Willie Rioli's going to have a big game. We've got to back it up. That's the key thing with this week. It's a momentous occasion. I've mentioned multiple times that it's gather round. It's great. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's for the fans. It's going to be a promotion of South Australia, the culture that is footy here in this state. But if we want to promote what Port Adelaide is, play Port Adelaide footy Saturday night. It's the primetime game. It's going to be broadcasted everywhere. It is a moment in our history that might not seem as huge, but if you say, right, our first ever gather round in South Australia, who did Port Adelaide play? Play the Western Bulldogs. What did they win by? They didn't win. That doesn't sound too good, does it? You want Port Adelaide winning this game. We need to win this game. And the pressure is on between both coaches. Ken Hinkley, Luke Beveridge, their pressure is on them this season. Both of them are on ropes. So winning this game is crucial for both coaches. And that's why I think playing at home in front of your fans is even more crucial for Port Adelaide. It's going to be loud. It's going to be awesome. And I'm so excited to be there. All right, my tip. I'm tipping Port Adelaide by 25. I think in the wet we're going to be... I wouldn't say we're going to be good, but I think we just have that edge. And I think last week's win is just going to rejuvenate us a little bit and kick us into gear. And I hope that is the case. And I think the Dogs will feel the same way. But just a fast start, get a lot of energy behind the ball and really set the tone early and, just be momentum driven for 4 quarters. And we do that, we're going to win by 25. And I think overall, just a good game of footy would be loved to see. And everyone that's over for gather round, enjoy it. Enjoy being part of Never Tear Us Apart. Enjoy being part of the atmosphere that is Adelaide Oval. And I hope everyone's team gets an opportunity to play well and win this week, because obviously half the sides are going to win and half aren't, because that's just standard, right? I'm just, I hope everyone does enjoy that is here in Adelaide, because it is a beautiful place to watch footy. And, let's hope Port win. I've been blabbering on, and I do apologise for that, but I'm just eager to see how this game goes. There's not a lot to say about the game. Obviously, there's a bit of history between the two clubs. There is a lot of riding pressure on this game. I think Port are going to get the job done. I hope Port get the job done. I look forward to seeing you all at the Adelaide Oval on Saturday night. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. The latest episode of The Glass Table is out as well. Thank you again for 5,000 subscribers. I love you all. Thank you so much. My name's Anthony, and as always, ThePear.